Good day everyone, I am Ellona Taguic, and in this lesson we will discuss in detail the different types of web browser. A web browser is a software program that gives you access to the internet. It displays websites on your screen and allows you to interact with them by entering text and clicking on links. So, ang web browser or browser is a software application used to access information available on the World Wide Web. So, web browser are easily accessible and can be used on devices like computers, laptops, mobile phones, and etc. Now, many people believe that web browsers are search engines, so which is wrong. So, as I mentioned a while ago, web browser can be used to search for the information on the internet. So, they are not search engine themselves. So when you type a question into the address bar, it's not the browser that looks for the answer for you, but the search engine. Now, here's how they differ. So, search engine is a kind of website by which users can explore the content available on the internet. And on the other hand, web browser is a software application that is formed to recover and view the information from the web pages or the HTML files existing on the web servers. Now, let's move forward to the features of web browser. So, we have here the home button. So, ito po. So, the home button brings the user directly back to the home page of the browser. Next, we have the address bar. So, the address bar is where the URL of the desired website is entered. So, let's say, gusto mo manood ng video sa YouTube. So, ita-type mo lang dyan sa address bar www.youtube.com. So, this bar helps us to navigate the desired website of our choice. Next is the refresh button. So, the refresh button is to reload the page of any website. Next is the navigating buttons. So the back and forward buttons allow you to move through website you've recently viewed. So in case na meron kang gustong balikan, so pwede mong i-click itong back navigating button. Next is the bookmarks. So bookmarks helps the user to save a particular website on a device for later use. So it is used to mark page that might be important or be useful in the future. So kapag may gusto kang balikan na website, pwede mo siyang i-mark itong nakikita niyo sa screen na star. Next is the tab browsing. So this feature helps to open new screens on the same browser for multiple browsing at the same time. So kung may gusto ka namang i-visit na another site, so i-click mo lang tong parang plus na button which represent a new tab. The functions of all web browsers are the same. However, we have many different types of web browsers that has specific features to offer. Now we are going to discuss the 6 leading web browser, and let's start with Google Chrome. So Google Chrome is the most popular and used web browser, and it was developed by Google, and it was first released on September 2008 for Microsoft Windows and was later ported to Linux, Mac OS, and iOS and Android. Google Chrome is the most popular browser that people use today because of this following reason. So number one here is the high-speed browsing. So it's a fast browser and it opens quickly, and it can load multiple tabs and pages in just one click. Next is sleek design, easily stylish interface. So Chrome looks sleek and simple using the material design concept from Google. Next, we have here safe and secure. So Google updates the browser regularly to keep it safe and secure. So nag-auto-update ang Chrome to the latest technology when you connect to internet. And in addition to this, Chrome offers following protection like blocking dangerous and malicious sites. Next is customizable. So Chrome is also easily customizable and comes with a range of apps and themes. So dito sa Google Chrome, pwede mong palitan yung color na gusto mo and marami ka ding pagpipilian ng mga themes. Next is incognito and it can sync across devices. So you can sign into Chrome using your Google account and your data will be synced across all your Google devices. So apart from these advantages, this web browser has its own drawbacks. So the first one is high memory and CPU usage. So Google Chrome consumes more CPU and RAM compared to the other browsers. So high memory consumption will affect other applications on your device at the same time. Next is changing default browser. So Google is only a default browser in Chrome OS. So however, on Windows and in Mac OS, you need to change the default browser from Edge and Safari to Chrome. Next is privacy concern with Google tracking. So Google is very popular for privacy-related issues and many times fined by European countries for processing information without the user consent. So kapag nag-login ka sa Chrome and sync all of your browsing activities, you hand over the entire control of your data in Google's hands. So kumbaga, lahat ng data mo and yung mga browsing activity is hawak-hawak na ni Google. Next in line is the Mozilla Firefox. So it is a free and open source web browser developed by Mozilla Foundation. Firefox was created in 2002 and first released in 2004. Mozilla Firefox was also considered as the second most popular browser on the internet. So this browser has its pros and cons. So we have here good extension library and security. So this browser has some advanced security measures that help protect a computer from spyware and viruses. And itong Mozilla Firefox ay meron ding pop-up blocker that stop almost of pop-ups. Now for the disadvantages, the first one is the compatibility issues. The main disadvantage of this Firefox is compatibility. So some websites do not show properly in this browser and requires the user to view them with IE. Next is it consumes a lot of memory. So Firefox takes a lot of memory to run. Kahit yung mga up-to-date computer, some of user find it hard to run the browser kapag may mga other programs na nakabukas. And kadalasan itong software na to is nag-freeze and biglang nag-close kapag maraming tabs ang nakabukas. And last disadvantage is non-resuming downloads. Next is Safari. Safari is a web browser developed by Apple Incorporation. It is the default browser on both Mac OS and iOS device. And it was first released as a public beta on January 7, 2003 and a final release was made available on April 3, 2003. So this type of web browser is only applicable for Apple users. Now the pros and cons of this web browser. First one is acceptable speed and level of performance. So because of the software-hardware integration, it does not consume too much hardware resources. especially RAM, unlike sa Chrome and other browsers na nagbe-base sa Chromium codebase. Next is the handoff feature for uninterrupted browsing. So another notable feature of Safari is this handoff feature that lets user continue their browsing session between different Apple devices. And as an example, kapag ang isang user, let's say nagbabasa siya ng article sa kanyang MacBook, he or she can continue reading the same article on his or her iPhone or iPad. So this feature ensures an uninterrupted browsing experience. Next is built-in privacy protection and security tools. So this browser also has several privacy-related features and tool. And meron siyang standard privacy browsing model that prevents web trackers, pop-up blocker, and a JavaScript blocker. Meron din siyang privacy report tool that is based on intelligent tracking prevention technology that uses machine learning to block cross-site tracking without losing website functionality. Now, for the cons, not available in other operating systems. So, sasabi ko na nga kanina na itong web browser is only applicable sa mga Apple users. Sa mga Android, walang Safari, meron lang silang Google Chrome. Next is the limited options for synchronizing data. So remember that this browser has a handoff feature that lets a particular user continue his or her browsing session on another Apple device. However, data only sync via the iCloud service and there is no options for user to use other cloud services. Furthermore, it only syncs browsing history and bookmarks. Other browsers let users sync settings and other users' preferences. Last is the zero customization feature. So, users have limited control over the interface of this web browser. Next is the Opera. Opera is a web browser that uses the Blink engine, which is developed by Google. It was founded in 1995 by John Stephenson von Tetzchner and Geir Ivarsson. Now, Opera web browser is another popular name in the browser industry. And meron din siyang pros and cons. Now, for the pros, it protects the user's data by way of built-in data privacy features. So, this browser also has a built-in access to social media messaging apps and it features turbo mode and battery saver mode. Now for the disadvantages, it installs many add-ons and plugins that considerably reduce browsing speed and there is also an absence of some essential browsers, features, and tools na meron sa ibang web browser. Next is the Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is a web browser developed by Microsoft in the year 1995. It used to be one of the most popular browsers in the world and was included with older Windows operating systems. In 2015, it was replaced with Microsoft Edge as it became the default browser on Windows 10. So, sa mga latest na mga laptop na meron ng mga Windows 10, wala na tong Internet Explorer. So siya yung default browser sa mga previous na Windows version. Now for the pros and cons, good compatibility with older website. So dito sa Windows 10 and 11, hindi na siya compatible. And lacks essential browser features and it does not get active updates and slow browser. Next is Microsoft Edge. So itong web browser na to, ito yung latest na default browser sa mga bagong labas na mga laptop. Microsoft Edge is a new web browser that is included with Windows 10. It replaces Internet Explorer as the default web browser. Microsoft Edge was invented by the tech giant Microsoft in 2015. So this web browser is one of the fastest on the market and it can be installed on Windows, Linux, iOS, and more. So the user interface could have been better sa disadvantages niya and meron din siyang limited extension library. So unlike sa Chrome and Firefox, it lacks so many extension and plugins.
Each browser has a different layout and offers different features. Now, it's your choice which of the leading browser I've discussed you will choose. And it's also a good idea to try a couple of them and then stick with the one that will suit your needs.